At the center of Nigeria's unsettled electoral reform process is a small but powerful committee which now carries a heavy national burden. It is the 24-member Joint Senate and House of Representatives Committee charged with reviewing and harmonizing the amended Electoral Act passed by both chambers. Its task is precise, but its implications are profound. The committee must reconcile conflicting provisions between the House and the Senate at a time when confusion has erupted over one critical question. Did the Senate reject real-time electronic transmission of election results, or did it quietly approve it? Mixed signals from the National Assembly have reopened deep public distrust and placed the credibility of future elections squarely on the line. And it's led to very loud protests today at the National Assembly.
We want giants of Africa to be true giants, not giants in doing the wrong thing, but giants in doing the right thing. And that must start that we are a democratic nation. And if that is what we are, our electoral process must be transparent. Our electoral process must be free and fair. I've said it several times. If you want to answer His Excellency, if you want to answer distinguished, if you want to answer honorable, the process through which you come into office must be honorable, it must be distinguished, and it must be excellent.
And we're saying that indeed we want electronic transmission of results. And I'm speaking today, and I'm saying we do know one situation where senators are coming out and making press conferences. Neither do we want situation where they are coming out and doing media rounds or Twitter spaces. And here, I'm saying to you, they have the constitutional power and authority to indeed ensure that there's real-time electronic transmission of results.
One man, one vote. And if the National Assembly, anybody, politician, who come out to say there is no electronic technology to do elections, the person is a thief. If they know that in 2026 there is no technology, it is available. Our vote will count. And the people are saying this kind of irresponsible leadership by 2027, it must end. Our vote must count. Our vote must count. Akpabio, you must pass the bill. Simple.
Well, from all this, I'm joined now in the studio by Arise Politics editor and director of news, Sumner Sambo. Always suitably delighted to see you, Sumner. And of course, you keep a better track of these things than most of us do. Peter Obi, former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, was among protesters. We saw him just there turning up at the National Assembly to demand real-time electronic transmission of the election results. Is that kind of thing going to make a difference?
Yes, I mean, it will. If you look at what they are doing, it's akin to what actually happened prior to 2014 and close to 2015, when you had the likes of Buhari, Odige Oyegun, Nasir El-Rufai, and all of that. I mean, Tambuwal and all of that. I mean, on the back of vehicles, all going around to actually kick against some of the things that the PDP was doing while in power then. And I'm very sure President Tinubu, if he was in the opposition now, would have joined, the team. So, I mean, whatever they did today is actually what's expected of them. But I had expected more opposition leaders to actually come out to...
Yes, you would have beefed it up,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
So, they shouldn't make it look like a Peter Obi thing. Where are the Atikus and all of that? Are they really serious about this, or they are just mouthing it because a whole lot of citizens want it? And I can tell you that citizens are eager to have this beyond the Peter Obi, beyond an Atiku and all of that, because it's not about them. But it actually adds more to the weight of voices that we have around. But the opposition should actually wake up and do more. Because these guys who are in government now, while they were in the opposition, I can tell you that this government wouldn't have been sleeping fine by now.
Indeed. And I mean, as I said, you keep an ear to the ground about these things. Are we any clearer now about whether the Senate approved real-time electronic transmission of results, or whether, was it agreed in clear, binding language, or is it being left open to interpretation and technicalities, basically?
Well, from what we saw, what we recorded as journalists, immediately my correspondent come back that day, I sat with him, we watched the visuals, over and over. I mean, the Senate is a place that I actually covered for more than a decade.
Indeed.
So I know what actually happens there. And I can tell you that the opposition lawmakers were not paying attention to what was happening because they were tricked. What actually happened there was the retention of the older acts, which made it open-ended for INEC to use its discretionary powers like it did in 2023. So the supervisors will decide whether to use electronic transmission of the election results or go through the manual process. And any of them that they do, they will actually be right.
Yeah, but what
because
I
it's
find
open-ended.
Right.
So from what happened, you will have seen that Abaribe was actually distracted.
Senator
alongside,
Abaribe,
yeah,
yeah.
Senator Abaribe was distracted right there in the chamber. And by the time he tried to pay his attention
that is
back,
true.
a very fast one had been played on him by the Senate Chief Whip and then, of course, the Deputy President of the Senate. Immediately, I mean, there was a secondment and the Senate President just moved on quickly. And you would have seen that the Senate President has been very defensive. That means it looks like the governing party actually had this in mind. We don't know if the President may have acceded to that, but from what we could see the governing party's lawmakers doing at the chamber.
Well, let me ask you this before we run out of time, because there is a harmonization committee whose job it is to harmonize what the two sort of arms of the National Assembly have passed. The clause approved by the House of Representatives states that, quote, the presiding officer shall electronically transmit the results from each polling unit to the IREV portal in real time, and such transmission shall be done after the prescribed Form ECHA has been signed and strapped, etc. I mean, the main point is that it says that it must be transmitted electronically in real time. So the House is clear and unambiguous. But that's not the way it is in the Senate version. And I'm wondering what is likely to happen when they come to reconcile the two.
Yeah, once they get into that harmonization committee, most times the House members are usually very forceful when it comes to, things like that. But of course, because of the age of senators, the experience and all of that in governance, they'll want to listen to each other. I can tell you that the reps would, if the executive is not interfering in this matter, insist that their own view scales through.
Well, that's
but
what
if
the civil society is hoping will happen. If the executive has an interest in this, I can tell you that there's nothing the National Assembly will do. Because even if the National Assembly does pass this, the president will refuse to sign and nothing happens and we go back to 2022. So let's be very sure that the governing party actually wants this. And I will think for the good of the country that the governing party actually wants this, because the set of people who are in the governing party right now running the APC are those from the ACN, the Action Congress of Nigeria. And you go back to 2013, the Action Congress of Nigeria had issued a statement by then spokesman of that party, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, asking that INEC should in 2015 ensure that electronic voting is introduced into the system and that federal lawmakers should change the system to accommodate electronic voting. And then they had quoted Ghana that even though Ghana had introduced electronic voting in 2013 and they had some errors, nonetheless, if we keep using electronic transmission of election results over the years, that the system will get better. So I don't think that these people who call themselves progressives will be against this system. But if it is, it could be for the exigencies of the office. And maybe the president may want it to be deferred to his second term if he does win. But wouldn't that be too late? It certainly
I think Mr. President owes us a view. What is the executive's view on the ongoing debate on this? Well, that's what no one knows right now. Nobody knows President Tinubu's mind. But that's why I had to make that reference in 2013. I believe President Tinubu is a progressive, and this is the right time for him to prove that.
Sumner, thank you very much indeed. Sumner Sambo is Arise Politics editor and director of news. That's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, bye-bye, and thank you for watching.